Good morning. I'm going to speak on Angulo and Canelo a little bit because of the ridiculous stuff that I've been seeing on the internet, the excuses people make. It just seems like no one gives credit to the winner in boxing anymore. No one. Everyone criticizes the winner more than the loser. Okay, I made a video yesterday, and I made a video about the Canelo Angulo fight. I picked Angulo. I was wrong. I thought Angulo was gonna come back strong in the second half of the fight, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. He lost. The fight was stopped. Okay, I do not think that Angulo was going to win the fight. I'm not making any excuses. I was wrong. Angulo lost the fight. I do not think Angulo was on drugs. I heard that. I do not think that the fight was fixed. Okay, I don't think that if the ref didn't stop the fight, that Angulo was gonna come back and win. Alright, I don't think any of that. Okay, I did say Angulo might win 10th, 11th, 12th round. Okay, by stoppage, possibly. That wasn't gonna happen. Okay, it was clear for me. It was clear to me in round one. In round one, and if you follow me on Twitter, I tweeted round for round. In round one, I thought Canelo's power was just way too much for Angulo. Way too much. I mean, he can take a lot of punishment. We see in the fight, Canelo was not able to knock this guy down once. Angulo did keep coming, but it was different. It was different compared to what Lara was hitting him with. Okay, I think that discouraged him. I think he lost a lot of confidence. He was getting bullied in there. I already made a video and I said all of this. Okay, but I'm just clearing things up before I get to what I'm gonna say. Stop criticizing Canelo. He won the fight. He trained for the fight. He did come in overweight, but guess what? Angulo was still the bigger fighter. He weighed more than Canelo. Okay, he is naturally the bigger guy, and he lost every round in my eyes. If you want to give him a round or whatever, I saw 10 rounds and Canelo was winning, even when he was taking his breaks, which I said I was worried about. I thought Angulo was going to take advantage of those times where Canelo was tired, and I thought Angulo was going to pressure him and take him out, and it didn't happen. In fact, in my opinion, Canelo looked very comfortable in there, and he didn't look like he respected Angulo's power at all. And from what I was seeing, from the punches that Angulo was throwing that fight, I don't know. I've heard people say all the time. I've seen people say, like I said, the power difference. I think Angulo was a lot more wary of how his approach towards Canelo. I think the game plan might have totally changed after he got hit with those bombs early. Okay, or maybe the age is catching up. He took a lot of punishment in a lot of recent fights, especially his last one against Lara. He took a lot of punishment there. He's getting older. He's 8 years older than Canelo. All right, maybe it's finally catching up to him. I don't know, but him being on drugs, it's ridiculous. The fight being fixed, ridiculous. Tony Weeks saved Canelo, ridiculous. All right, give the man his credit. Canelo won the fight. Whether you wanted the fight to happen or not, that's irrelevant. Canelo went in there and beat a guy after his performance, a good performance against Lara. He went in there and beat him. All right, and that's it. There's no more left to be said about it. All right. Now, as far as the confrontation between Erislandy Lara and Canelo Alvarez, it's real messed up. That it's messed up how the media and Canelo played Lara like he was a nobody. When I first saw the video, I was like, do the media even watch boxing, or do they even aware of who this guy is standing behind Canelo? You know, or is this another day at work for them? You know, they're just there for Canelo and nothing else. Like, are they aware that this should be the first guy you should be asking if he's gonna fight? Because that's the only question I would have asked if I was there questioning Canelo. It would have been the first, second, third, and fourth question I would have asked if I was questioning Canelo Alvarez after a win. Are you gonna fight Lara next? You know, is it gonna be a next fight? Is it gonna be later this year? You know, I would have asked him anything other than Erislandy Lara questions. Okay, I'm not a Lara fanboy. I do like him a lot. He is one of my favorite fighters, but I don't think he's unbeatable. I think it would be a good fight if him and Canelo would win. I mean, if him and Canelo would fight, I think Lara would win. But if Canelo were to win that fight, it wouldn't be no shocking, like, you know, it wouldn't be like the crazy upset. No, like Canelo, I think that would be a competitive fight that I would pay for. I want to see that fight. Okay. I thought it was messed up how the confrontation went down. Canelo asked the crowd if there was anybody that wanted to see this fight. No one. Everybody was crickets, and then, you know, had people screaming out there that what's his name? Lara just wanted the money, wanted a payday. I mean, of course, they all want paydays, but at the same time, Lara just wants to fight the best. It's not all about the money. You can tell the people that he's calling out. You just don't call out Canelo and Triple G. You don't call Triple G out. All right, a guy that's fighting at 160. You don't call him out when you just want a payday. You know, I think Canelo would be a lot bigger payday than Triple G. Okay, or E.J. Smith, or all these other guys that he's fought or in line for fighting. All right, I don't see, for you guys that's defending Canelo, if you're a Canelo fan, right, if he's your favorite boxer, why would you not want them to fight? Aren't you tired of the Lara fans telling you that your guy is ducking him? Your favorite boxer is ducking Lara? Okay, Lara is not unbeatable. Why would you not want this fight? Oh, because Angulo dropped him twice. So what? Lara won the fight. He beat Trout better than Canelo did. What is a big deal? Like, why? They just fought two of the same fighters recently. How is Canelo too big to fight Lara when they just fought the same two guys in the past year? In the past year, they just fought the same two guys and won. So how is either fighter bigger than the other? Lara hasn't lost recently. Lara didn't even lose the fight that he lost. The one loss that he has, he didn't even lose the fight. The only close fights that I've seen Lara been in are fights, one fight that he was in a draw in, and the other fight was against Angulo, which he won. You know, so I don't see what the big deal is, guys. You know, if you're gonna be biased, stop showing it so much. Okay, you guys are making it so obvious out there. You know, if you're a Canelo fan, he fought Floyd already. He fought Trout. Okay, he fought. That's a legitimate guy at 154. This is not Josecito Lopez that moved up, the smaller Josecito Lopez that Canelo just went in there and got out of there quick. Okay, this is not Shane Mosley after he's lost to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Okay, this is not old Shane. Okay, he beat Trout, a guy that beat Miguel Cotto. He beat Angulo, you know, a legitimate 154 contender. Why is it such a big deal for Lara to fight and Lara and Canelo to fight each other? Enough is enough. All right, someone said to me, you know, and I've been a victim of this. Like, I've been saying this on videos, you know, these fights gotta be aggressive. Go in there, call out whoever, you know, show up to the interviews, you know, keep doing interviews, you know, show up to the fights, do whatever they have to do to get the fight. It's sad because Lara doesn't even seem like the confrontational type of fighter. Like, you know, the way he was standing in the crowd before he went on stage, on the podium, and he was like, you know, I got a question, like, pick me. And he was looking behind him like, you know, it was like, he can tell that's not his personality. And someone said that to me on my Twitter account. It was like, you know, it's a shame because Lara ain't that type to go and do that. Even when he went up stage, he was very respectful. He was like, you know, when are we gonna fight? And Canelo dismissed him, you know, played him, you know, and then got the whole crowd to get involved with it too. And I thought that was a little messed up, especially when you know that this is the guy that a lot of people want to see this fight. You know, a lot of people want to see this fight. So, you know, I don't even think Canelo's that big. You know, I don't think Canelo is huge. I mean, he's a well-known fighter, but he's not. You know, a lot of it has to do with Floyd Mayweather. You know, in their fight, I don't think he's big enough to a point where people that are not watching boxing really know who he is too. You know, a lot of people, casual fans, are not really that big. Canelo, they don't think. You know, he's not major. You know, you fought Trout and you fought Angulo. Why can't you fight Lara? You fought the same guys, you know, recently. So I think it's kind of crazy, man. You know, like I said, if you're a Canelo fan, I don't see why you wouldn't want to fight. You know, Lara is not unbeatable. Okay, can't keep protecting. You know, you defending your guy, but at the same time, if you think Canelo is better, let him go in there and prove it. You know, if you think Canelo is better, it's nothing wrong. You can't have your only response, excuse for not wanting Canelo to fight Lara is because you think Canelo is better. That is the lamest excuse you can use. They need to get in the ring. It's proven in the ring. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to speak on that. I wanted to speak on the confrontation, and I wanted to speak on you know, the whole thing with not giving fighters their credit. You know, give Canelo his credit for winning that fight, man. He deserved it. Whether you thought he was gonna win or not, you're making all these excuses, man. It's getting ridiculous now. You guys are not even criticizing Angulo and his weak performance. That was a terrible performance with Angulo. Terrible performance by him. You know, and maybe it's not even him. Maybe he tried his hardest, and that was the best he could do. You know, I'm pretty sure it was. You know, he ain't no chump. I picked him to win, so anyway, yeah, just like I said again, if you don't think he should fight Lara, who should he fight at 154? Who should Canelo fight at 154? Okay, the fight might not even happen because based on the timeline, the schedule, Canelo's schedule, and Lara's fighting Smith in May, and then Canelo is set to fight again in July. I don't even know if there's gonna be enough time for that fight to happen. Okay, and then you go, you know, we're pretty certain that Lara's gonna fight either Sergio Martinez or Cotto in November. Let's just assume he's gonna fight the winner of that fight. He might even fight Cotto if Cotto loses. Okay, so let's just assume that that date is already set. As far as Lara, he might not even be able to fight Lara this year, you know, based on the timeline and the schedule. Alright, so, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and act like that's the fight I want to see, man. That's the fight that I would pay for without a doubt. It would be no doubt in my mind that I would pay. So in this next date coming up, if it's not Lara, okay, if it's not Lara, and I'm sure Lara would still try to fight Ishe Smith. There's no doubt in my mind that Lara would fight Ishe Smith and fight Canelo 2 months later. There's no doubt in my mind that he would do it if given the opportunity. But if it's not going to be Lara, who should it be? You know, I said in the video yesterday, Kirkland. I know some people do his name out there. I don't think Canelo would do it, but you know, I mean, it's possible. You know, what do you think is going to fight in this next one, the next fight in July? All right, so leave your comments and hit me on my Twitter. Oh, and you know what? I'm gonna leave the info on D-Style Boxing. He did 2 really good videos on the whole Lara confrontation thing. I like the videos a lot. He said everything that you could possibly say about, you know, so about that whole confrontation thing. All right, so just you know, leave your comments and stuff, and you know, hit me on my Twitter account and subscribe to the channel.